of one family's love for each other and for the rodeo.
I guess he's about 5 days old. And we socked him right out of the hospital and stuffed him in a bunny bag, and we went to the horse show to watch his grandpa.
In 1989, 15-year-old Brent Bursey rode in his last show.
Brent was swinging, rounded the corner. Don't know what happened there. The horse went down, and then he was laying there.
They said that, you know, basically what you see is what you're going to get. That's the way he's going to be the rest of his life.
Brent's story deeply moved this group of songwriters.
He needs something to bring him out of it, at least to give him some impetus to get up and get rolling.
To see you now. A song for Brent. That story next on the CBC Alberta News. You live your...
One such story in Calgary. She joins me now. Holly?
Hi, Bob. I was in Calgary 10 days ago for the Country Music Week, and I met the Bursey family from Lethbridge. And their story was so compelling, I'll never forget them. They were a rodeo family, and in 1989, their 15-year-old son, Brent, was hurt in a rodeo accident.
And he was pretty darn badly hurt, wasn't he?
Very badly hurt. Today, he lives in Lethbridge in an institution. He can see and hear, but he can't talk and he can't move. And for 3 years, the family has been looking for some way to spark him, to spark some kind of communication. And when songwriters in Calgary at Country Music Week heard this story, they wrote a song. And the story you're about to see is told through the Bursey's own words, through their eyes. And the story is called A Song for Brent.
This is John and Brent. This is just at a jackpot roping in Tabor.
This is 1989. Well, actually, it's the winter of 1988. I think we had the camera about, I don't know, 2 weeks before this, and probably about 3 months before Brent got hurt and totaled. We've been married for 21 years. Ever since we've been married, rodeo's been a part of our life. It's a big adrenaline fix, I guess. You can't explain the feeling of running your hand in a bareback rigging and, you know, looking right down between the ears of some old buckskin horse, you know, that's going to try and buck you off, and just rear back and give everything you got for 8 seconds.
We're not going to be on a trail.
It's just kind of always been a way of life that, you know, cowboys and cow people kind of look after one another, and I guess that's where rodeo fit into our life, you know.
I just love family. My family is very, very important to me. And we just, yeah.
One day, I guess it was our turn to be a family, so that's when Brent was born. And 4 years later, Tam came along, and we just wanted him to have good values and grow up and be healthy, and we taught him the best we could, I guess. If you're raised around horses and cows and cowboys and cowgirls, then they basically grow up with that love in their heart. I guess he's about 5 days old. And we socked him right out of the hospital and stuffed him in a bunny bag, and we went to the horse show to watch his grandpa. And well, I guess that's probably when he started around horses, yeah.
Yeah.
He loved horses a lot. Like if we was at a roping and some horse got in some trouble, even though he was just a little bitty, he'd run over there and see if he could either help him out of the wreck or get in one with him. It didn't really matter. He was full of dynamite, boy. I'll tell you what, he had a dynamite personality, and he was full of go.
He played ball and hockey, but in the end result, it always came back to horses or rodeoing or the day of the accident. That was the first year that John and Brent had been entered in the open before. They were always entered in the amateur for father and sons or whatever. And that was the year that Brent said he was going to do it. And so right before he went to go rope, he said, Mom, now, he said, do you have the video on? Are you going to work it right today? So I'm sitting there with the camera and got him lined right up and see John nod his head. Out comes the steer and out comes John and Brent. John got him roped around the neck. Brent was swinging. Rounded the corner. Don't know what happened then. The horse went down. And then he was laying there. In a matter of seconds, your whole world stops. We went to the hospital, and they came out, and they said he had a blood clot. Didn't have any marks on him, none. He had brain damage, severe brain damage. He hurt himself somewhere, and they just don't know how.
After 3.5 months of being in ICU and intensive care units in Calgary, they said that, you know, basically what you see is what you're going to get. That's the way he's going to be the rest of his life.
We know he can hear by the brain waves, but what we don't know is what he comprehends of what he hears. That's where I say mother's instinct, mother's intuition kicks in. I know he knows. He is just locked in. He can't get out.
Yeah. But he's just trapped in there, okay? He's still got the pride. He didn't lose his pride. He just lost the dream, okay?
From Calgary, with his family, raised on with a cowboy's pride.
He's raised with a cowboy's pride. Now, rather than go... I'm Ralph Murphy. I live in Nashville. My job is to write songs. Shortly before I was coming to Calgary to do these two teaching seminars we're doing, I received a letter from a girl who was working at a hospital in Lethbridge and told me about a young boy who'd been 15, and he and his father were ropers. And he sustained an injury that left him totally unable to speak, unable to move, unable to do anything. But he loved to watch TV, and he loved to watch CMT and TNN, the country stations, watching the videos. And they requested that someone write a song that maybe it would go on video, and he would see it, and it would help him get courage to fight and to, you know, help in his rehabilitation.
Remember the feel of the saddle. Oh, now we're getting to it. Yeah. And the ride of life. Yeah.
He needs something to bring him out of it. So, whether it be his family, the love of that, the music, all those elements can combine, hopefully, with this as a catalyst, at least to give him some impetus to get up and get rolling.
When we talked to Ralph and to all the fellas over dinner and stuff, and they said that they'd composed this song, you know, I thought to myself, nah, this can't be, you know. And I expected, I guess, a different kind of a song where, you know, you talk about wheelchairs and things like that, and it wasn't.
To see you now, I'd never known you lived your dream, the rodeo.
My name is Cindy Church, and I'm a singer-songwriter. I was asked if I would like to sing it, and I have to say I was a bit apprehensive because I just didn't know how emotional it was going to be. I think every single person who was in there was emotionally affected by what was going on, and I know as far as me singing it, I kind of had to block a bit of that out and just, you know, get through it. I certainly was thinking about Brent.
But there he was, totally surrounded by his family, and they just never strayed far from him, that was for sure. But I was extremely honored to have been a part of it.
Though you can't roll right, I can see as I look at you now. I know that the dream's still alive. I can tell by the tears in your eyes.
It's emotional, and yet it implies strength that the family is there. It shows him in his what he did before riding and the roar of the crowd, and hopefully getting all that back. So it's actually completed everything I wanted to do.
Well, I hope that it's given the whole family a really bright moment, and I hope that you know, it triggers Brent in even some small way, you know.
The first time he heard it on Saturday, the tears did come. But they were Brent's tears as well as everybody else's in the room.
If somebody could just turn that light on a little brighter, I'm sure that if he could talk, it wouldn't matter to me if he was in a wheelchair or whatever.
Can you still hear the roar of ground?
Where there's life, there's hope. So maybe one day you'll hear this song on the radio. Maybe it'll turn the light switch on.
The dream's still alive. I can tell by the tears in your
Wow, Holly, you were right. What a compelling story that is.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So how can people buy this record?
Well, the managers and the promoters of all the artists who donated their time for that are still shopping around for a record label, and no song makes it on the radio until you have that. But I should say that all the people who did perform and contribute their talents have signed waivers that any money earned from the sale of this song will go to a charity specifically to help teenagers like Brent. So if you ever hear it on the radio, that's what it's about, you know, and it's called A Song for Brent.
Thanks, Holly.
Thanks, Bob.
Just in case Brent is watching.
I'm sure he is.
Give it all you got, cowboy. There are a lot of people out cheering for you. Thanks again, Holly.
Thanks.